Mike Detillier, WWL Radio, TV New Orleans, Saints, LSU, NFL. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance Guest Line. It's brought to you by Sound and Communications, your next video wall for your school, university, business, lobby, hospital. SoundcomAV.com, your next video wall for your business or school, arena, football stadium, conference. SoundcomAV.com. Mike D on the show. Mike D, news broke late last week. You had mentioned it a couple weeks ago. People thought that this was going to happen. Aaron Rodgers is now going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I want your thoughts. Is there enough juice left in the tank? Do they have enough around him? They pick up DK Metcalf in the offseason. George Pickens goes to the Cowboys. Mike Tomlin and them haven't really done a lot post Roethlisberger. We know all about that, post Peyton and Breeze. What do you make of Aaron to the Steelers, Mike D?
Defensively, they're going to be a tough football team. Now, the Aaron Rodgers I saw early in the year last year, he still seemed to be struggling with the Achilles. But down the stretch, Aaron Rodgers threw the football well. And so he gives them an opportunity to be a playoff team. Really does. And you add DK Metcalf to the bunch. So big question mark is, for me, is how quickly can that offensive line that's been rebuilt get pieced together? Because that's not a unit that as a group has played a lot of games together. And that's the unit to watch. Aaron can still play. And Metcalf's a good player. And, man, they got one of the really good tight ends in pro football. So I think they got a shot here as a playoff team, no question about it. And from what I saw late last year, he still looks like he's got some gas left in the football tank. Is it a 25, 26-year-old Rodgers? No. But, again, in a conference that's got a lot of really good quarterbacks, they can sort of match up now with Aaron Rodgers. I didn't feel that way with Russell Wilson.
Ooh, you just hit on something, Mike D. Is that the best division with QBs? With Burrow, Lamar, Aaron, I don't know what the hell the Browns are going to do, but that's three pretty damn good ones. Now, I guess.
And then you got West, you got Mahomes, Herbert, and Knicks.
Yes, with the Broncos and Peyton. Okay. Which one would you take?
That's pretty strong. That's pretty strong. That is a strong one. Oh, well, listen, anytime Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson are in one division, you got to go there.
Dang.
Those two guys, for what they can do, even though they're two totally different players, you got to go that route.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think the Ravens defensively have been as good the last 2 years as we've seen them in the past. And Cincinnati isn't good. Plain.
Mike D on the Out of Bounds show. Mike, all things being equal, who would you take? Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson?
Depending on what football team I had around me.
Okay.
I think that would be a big part of it. I'm kind of swayed because of the fact that
sure.
I saw what he did at LSU, but I would take Joe Burrow. I think, he's been there. He's been to the ultimate game. Was not able to win it against the Rams, but certainly I would go with Joe. Lamar's a tremendous football player. I mean, he's one of the elites, and he puts so much pressure on you as a defensive coordinator. if you're going up against him. Well, Burrow would keep me up at night too, but so would Lamar, but for different reasons. In that Lamar could pull that ball down and take off, and you got issues. And so when you look at the two divisions, the two players that probably would give me more problems as a coordinator would be Baltimore, because Lamar has become such a good passer throughout the years and his running skills. And in the NFC, Jaden Daniels. There's a lot of people, I make the comment a lot, I don't like to see drifters at quarterback, guys that sort of drift around. They get sacked a lot. People say, well, you like Jaden Daniels. When Jaden Daniels drifts in the pocket, he's not drifting to throw it. He's drifting to run with it. And you better put on your track shoes if you're going to catch him. So those two guys present huge problems because of how well they throw the football, but their just innate running skills. It's at another level compared to anyone else.
Man, that I hadn't thought about that. Now that Aaron Rodgers is in that division, you got Lamar, who's awesome, Aaron Rodgers, who may still have another year left to sling it around and hurt people's feelings, and then Joe Burrow, who's incredible. Who knows what the Browns will do? Sorry, NFL Chuck, who listens to the show. But Mike Detillier on the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. And then, like he mentioned, AFC West, you got Mahomes, Justin Herbert. And now we're going to get to see, what Bo Nix kind of becomes the next 2 to 3 years under Sean. This is going to be fascinating.
They're built differently. They're built much differently than the Saints.
Yeah.
And when I say that, meaning their defense is a better defense than what Sean had early on with the Saints. Mm-hmm. Their pressure defense, their front seven, and their secondary is better than what Sean had early on with the Saints. And there's no question about it. And then, you add, Barron to the bunch from Texas, who's a little bit of a hybrid player. That he's a guy that can play both corner, free safety, in the nickel. And, we had Brandon Staley on with us. And one of the things Brandon said, and it was true, and it was really a Sean Payton invention, to put your best receiver in the slot on third down. Now, it took forever for teams to match up against that, but during Super Bowl week, Marcus Colston came on with us. And I was bringing it up to him, and he said, I've never played anything more than the wide receiver when I was at Hofstra. Never played any other position. So when I come with the Saints, Sean's talking about putting me in the slot. And he said, well, I thought this was for a small receiver. He's like, no, the spot's for you. And it was amazing. Jeff Duncan and I were talking about this the other day. Jeff wrote the book on it. And Jeff was like, Mike, people don't realize that was the first time in the NFL that a coach put his best receiver in the slot on third down. And it took years for teams to adjust to it. Now, Brandon Staley's with the Saints today, and he was like, on third down, Alontae Taylor is going to play the slot corner. When you look at it, he says, okay, you got these $28 to $30 million receivers playing in the slot, being covered by $5 million guys? No, I want my best cover guy. It goes to show the little subtlety that has happened in the NFL, where you see the Justin Jeffersons, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, those type players, they're shoved in the slot on third down. And they're going up sometimes against the team's number 3 corner. Well, teams got to adjust to that, and they got to put their top corner in the slot to match up against those top receivers.
Man, Mark, the Colston thing was unreal. What was he, Mike? Like a undrafted free agent or seventh round pick?
Seventh round pick, kind of a throwaway pick. First time we saw him in the OTAs, it was like, man, why did they pick him? He didn't look good. He really didn't. He struggled. He seemed to be a bit heavy. He seemed to be also a little bit confused on what route that he had to run. And you get it, small college, the route tree's different. And he was a little heavy. Now, once they went to training camp in Mississippi, he was a different player. He looked the part, and he was really good. But the early OTAs, he did not look the part at all. And so we kind of went through it in Super Bowl week that, I'd only played one position. I'd only ran maybe 2 or 3 routes in my entire life.
Wow.
And, Coach Payton is throwing this out at me, at rapid fire pace. And he said, I didn't pick it up right away. But he said finally, through some reps and through a lot of film study, he was able to pick it up. And like you said, by the time training camp hit, he was ready to roll.
Unreal. All right.
But we didn't see him in the slot. See, that was something Coach Payton saved for the regular season. When we were watching, he never lined up in the slot position. And then as the regular season hit, Sean had moved Marcus over on obvious third down slot positions. He put him in that spot. So he had already made a little chess maneuver with Colston. Once he got his confidence up, then he was able to put him in the slot, and the rest is history.
Yeah, but not everybody stays. I mean, many, many, many times in the NFL, as you know, Mike D, if you can't get it done early, especially if you're a 7th round pick, they'll just, you get cut and they send you to the house. Sean obviously had the foresight to believe that he could get it and turn the corner, Mike D.
When you ask this to Coach Payton, he always laughed and said, I didn't have no players. I was forced to do it. Now, that's partially true, but I think Sean sort of knew that Colston could fit that bill. But remember, they're coming off of just a couple win seasons. They were a nomad team. This was the year after COVID, in which they had played in San Antonio and Baton Rouge. That was a lot of comings and goings on that football team, and they had 28 new players on that team from the year before. That's a heavy turnover in the National Football League. But you were going to do it Peyton's way, or you were going to be out the door. And I've always told him this. It was the best coaching job he ever did. Better than the 2009 season when they won the Super Bowl title. Better than the 2011 season, which I thought was maybe his most talented team, and ended on a crazy game out in San Francisco. But I thought 2006, he squeezed every bit of vitamin C out of the orange that year. That was a really well-coached team, and they started to believe in one another real quickly that they could get this done. They were one game away from Super Bowl Sunday. They lost in the NFC Championship game to the Bears.
Golly. Went up to Chicago and lost to Rex Grossman and Urlacher.
Yep.
Damn nations. That's crazy. Soldier Field. Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. What is Marquise Colston doing now, Mike D?
He's out in the Northeast. He's involved with a number of businesses. He sold his home. He had a home not far from me in the Destrehan area, and he ended up selling it. And so he's back up in the Northeast. And like I said, he's involved in a number of businesses and still the same guy. I mean, really quiet. Now, once you get him started, then he'll talk a little bit, but he's a very quiet guy and just does not like the limelight. Never did. Never did with the Saints. Never did, in the business world today. I had to go up to him to ask him to come on with us on WWL. He was there for promoting some event, but he was great about, yeah, I'll do it. And, he's like, hey, how you guys made out for the storm and all? I was like, yeah, okay. Why are you walking crooked? I said, because I got a bad knee.
Well, we got to know Pierre Thomas a few years ago, and I know you know him. Talking about an outstanding young man. Really enjoyed being around him. We had him on the show a couple of times. Have you talked to him in the last few years, Mike D?
Yeah, sure have. I made the mistake. I asked him, because I got to talk to Kevin Falk, a former LSU player who played with Tom Brady and the Patriots. And I didn't think anybody ran the screen pass as good as what the Patriots did, with Kevin. And then the Saints did it really well with Pierre. Kevin gives you kind of the Reader's Digest version of how they do it. Pierre, when he starts, you in Encyclopedia Britannica, man, you go get the long version with Pierre. But man, always a colorful guy. Gave you everything he had. Was a vision runner. That's what I would call it. His eyes always up. He had tremendous peripheral vision to have people miss out in the open field. And he was a hard charger. But he caught that screen pass as well as anybody in the game over the last 25 years. Only Kevin Falk could match him as far as a receiver coming out of the backfield. But, yeah, he's intriguing guy. And, matter of fact, riding a parade every year in Metairie and Mad Hatters, and he is going to be the Mad Hatter for the parade this coming year in Metairie. Finally decided to do it. They tried to get him a couple different times, and he had scheduling conflicts, but he's going to do it this year.
Okay, that's super cool. Yeah, I love that. He was really, he did a charity event here, and could not have been nicer. Wendy, my wife, doesn't really care about athletes and coaches and all that stuff, but she went to the event. She didn't even know who he was, which I thought was even better. I walked away, I think, to the bar to get a drink, and she talked to him for 15 minutes, and she said, that's one of the nicest young men I've ever been around. I thought that was pretty cool, Mike D.
Yeah, and you think about how he got here. They had picked Pittman, the running back from Ohio State, in the 4th round. Pierre was an undrafted free agent. Okay. The second day, we watched him practice, and it was Abear. He turns to me, he's like, who the hell's the draft choice and who's the free agent? Man, this Pittman, he can't play. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured that out. But we wondered, because you see, this is early on with Coach Payton, and we've seen it with others. They'll keep a draft choice before they'll keep that undrafted free agent. And Sean it was an easy decision. He knew what he had with Pierre Thomas. He knew what he had with him, and he was able to keep him in. It kind of went through the string. They had Chris Ivory, also undrafted free agent.
Good player.
Robinson also. All good players that they didn't draft at all. So, but Pierre was so good. Short yardage game, but also he was a master of how to set up a screenplay to make it not look as though it's a screen, and it ended up being that way.
Yeah, he and Drew and Sean drawing it up and teaching it, but He and Drew were filthy when it came to that. That's super cool.
Oh, no question.
All right, Mike D. LSU, baby, in the CWS. Is the state buzzing a little bit?
It's buzzing. Yeah, I'll tell you, Skip Burtman line. Skip wins 5 college championships in baseball, and Skip comes on with us, and he's like, "How many people want Jay Johnson fired?" I said, "More than you would think." He was like, "Many times I've been fired by the fans." You'd have to hear Skip say it, because Skip was, he really was the Bear Bryant of college baseball in the South.
Yeah.
As much as Coach Ron Polk was great at Mississippi State, Skip was like a quote machine. Anything that came out of his yap,
Yeah.
was a quote machine. And he forced, along with Polk, they forced everybody else to up their game in the SEC. And now, everybody's spending tons of money
Sure.
on college baseball. Jay Johnson is a different personality. We have him on weekly. He's glib. He'll tell you what's on his mind. He's not a storyteller like Skip, but there ain't many like him that can tell a story. But I think, man, to catch Arkansas right off the bat,
Dang.
that's a tough catch.
Man.
Because if you were to ask me today, who looks the best of all the teams, it would be Arkansas.
Agree.
The combination of their pitching and their timely hitting, they look to be the best team, that's in the College World Series. But it's an interesting draw, Saturday afternoon, and to have LSU, Arkansas.
I know. Two really good teams. I agree with you on the Razorbacks. Mike D, that was a ton of fun. And man, Marquise Colston, what a player. And Pierre. Sean just could do it. I mean, he just elevated so many people on the offensive side of the football. Mike D, have a great week, my man. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks so much. And I'm interested to see this year with Sean, Evan Ingram, who is a good chip piece, and how they use him, and you can bank it, he's going to be a slot guy.
No doubt about it. He's a problem when used the right way, whether it was Hugh Freeze or I guess the Jags finally figured it out a little bit, but Sean will get it. Thanks, Mike D. Brought to you by Sound and Communications. If you need a video wall for your school, university, business, lobby, conference center, conference room, your next video wall, call Sound and Communications today. SoundComav.com.
Say, kids, what time is it?
It's 9 a.m., and this ain't no kiddie show. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds.
On the board!
As Mississippi's #1 morning show rolls on the Zone 105.9 and online at thezone1059.com.
Good morning. Welcome in to the Out of Bounds Show. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Show is brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Geyser Falls, the Golden Moon Casino Sportsbook for the College World Series. I mean, they've already got win totals up for NFL and college football. Award-winning Dancing Rabbit Golf Club to book your 24 to 48 hours of fun. PearlRiverResort.com and DancingRabbitGolf.com. Whether it's a stay and play or you just want to stay at the moon and do all the fun stuff. The saffron chowder, shrimp appetizer, and tomahawk ribeye. All fabulous at Philip M's. They do have award-winning Elijah Craig bourbon. They have amazing Tito's espresso martinis and the like. Bo Bounds, Jackson Meadows with you. Want to say good morning. Welcome in. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. And this hour of the show is brought to you by Mills Contracting. Matt Mills and the team at Mills Contracting just built a beautiful community center in Starkville, Mississippi. 2 assisted living facilities, Mills Contracting in Gluckstadt. Renovated the cabins at Roosevelt State Park and Clarko State Park, plus many, many other projects. Mills Contracting, over 35 years of experience, and Matt Mills and the team are ready to build your strip center, assisted living facility. And, of course, they've done some school work too, state parks and more. Mills Contracting in Gluckstadt, Mississippi. Matt Mills and the team with over 35 years of experience. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. People have asked me for my SEC football rankings going into 2025. You know, Bo, what's it going to look like? How's it going to go? I've got my top 4. The order is difficult, but I do have the top 4. I think that's not easy, but I feel good about it. So I'd like to hear your feedback, and I'm going to give mine. You can weigh in. The Golden Moon Casino text line is 601-885-3776. Twitter X at Bo Bounds. And the Michelob Ultra caller line is 601-707-3750. I've got Texas 1. That's not going out on a limb, is it? Arch Manning, Sark, and Kwiatkowski and the whole crew. Texas is going to have as much or more talent than anybody in the country. For number 2, I'm going to go Bama.
I like it.
And DeBoer adding Ron Grubb as the offensive coordinator. Remember, Grubb was with him at Washington, moved with him to Alabama just for a few weeks, and then took the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator job for 1 year. Didn't work out. Now he's back at Alabama as DeBoer's OC. Ron Grubb is back as DeBoer's OC. I think that makes Bama a lot better. And they were never comfortable without Grubb and with Milroe as the quarterback. So whether it's Ty Simpson or someone else, I think they'll be better. Nothing against Milroe. He's a good player.
Right.
But it never was a fit, but he was going to try to make it work for a year. They had a solid season I think at 9-3 or whatever.
Underwhelming for them.
Very, very underwhelming. LSU 3. Nussmeier returns. Brian Kelly and LSU turned up the heat in the transfer portal. I expect them to be a damn good football team. Now, here's the problem. Their scheduling's terrible by their athletic directors. LSU goes to Clemson to start the year. Now, for us, Labor Day weekend, it's awesome. It may be the game of the weekend for you. Clemson's got 4 guys that may go in the first round.
Yeah.
They have been retaining these guys, and they've gotten older. Clemson could be pretty damn good. Klubnik's played for a while like Nussmeier. This could be a phenomenal game. 2 returning quarterbacks. Could be the game of the weekend. I think it is the game of the weekend. 2 top 10 teams, LSU at Clemson. Here's the problem with LSU. They play at Clemson game 1, Florida at home game 3, and at Ole Miss game 5. They're going to know early if they're in it or not. Could be because of bad scheduling, again, with Clemson. And then number 4, I got Georgia. So that's it.
Wow.
Texas, Bama, LSU, Georgia.
Wow.
Bama goes to Florida State. Now, I know Norvell.
Shambles.
No, I don't know if they'll be. I expect a bounce back.
Well, they don't
Mike
have any
Norvell.
choice.
Huh?
Where did they go last year? How bad was it?
Everything went just
south.
Completely off the rails
Fast.
from being undefeated and
Right.
losing their quarterback the year before and should have made the college football playoff.
Yeah.
And did everything they were supposed to do and just bad luck. Bad luck. And then they come back last year and they were a train wreck. This year, I expect them to be better. I don't know how good. But Bama plays at Florida State. That's the other big one.
They're going to get drilled.
They could. DeBoer and Grubb could go down there and hammer town.
It's down there. Oh, so it's not neutral either.
No, it's in Tallahassee.
Ooh, that's a tough
Remember
one.
my buddy Mick Gillespie and Jake Coker?
Oh, yeah.
They're calling it the Coker Bowl.
That's right. Love
We
that.
had Jake on last week or the week before. National championship QB at Alabama and at Florida State. He didn't play at FSU. Jameis Winston did, but he backed him up. Then he transferred to Bama and they won it. So they're going down there to do a show and they're calling it the Coker Bowl since Jake Coker played at Florida State and at Alabama. Now it worked out at Alabama. He became the starter and won a national championship.
Yeah, I mean, it was
You can
all right.
ride that forever, and he is in commercial real estate, and I don't blame him.
No.
Plus, he's a good dude, and he's funny. We had dinner at Philip M's the night before, and we did the show at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club. In fact, he's going to be at Azar's event. Mick Gillespie and Jake Coker, who had the #1 pregame show, postgame show for Alabama Crimson Tide football, because most of those shows aren't any good. But they have fun and goof off, and of course, postgame it gets a little wild because Mick's
Yeah.
in the sauce. So it just depends on what's happening.
Yeah, it depends
And
on
they're
the
on
game.
YouTube. They can say anything they want.
Right.
I mean, you know, they can. He can take a shot at Fireball and not that we can't take a shot at Fireball,
Sure.
and maybe you need some Fireball after you had Lucky Charms for breakfast.
Maybe they go together.
Lucky Charms and Fireball,
There's got to be a cereal that does go with it. There
the
has to.
breakfast of champions for Jackson Meadows and college students. Anyway, that's my top 4: Texas, Bama, LSU, Georgia. Fight me.
Yeah, I mean,
Bring it on. Poke holes in it.
Brian Kelly said it's a college football playoff team or bust.
Hey, again, you have LSU at Clemson. That could be amazing.
So dumb.
And, of course, Alabama at Florida State. Auburn has to go to play Baylor on a Thursday. At
Ugh.
Baylor. And, of course, one of the marquee games of the weekend, Mississippi State at Southern Miss. 11 a.m.
I mean,
kickoff.
what's the spread going to be?
I don't know.
Seriously.
I
State
don't
by
know,
3.
man. You could be running into a buzzsaw with Charles Huff
State by 3.
down in Hattiesburg. South Carolina and Virginia Tech play, too. Back in a second. Okay. Oh, all right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone ESPN, brought to you by Hartley Equipment in Gluckstadt. Hartley Equipment. So if you're looking for a zero-turn mower, X-Mark, zero-turn, Hartley Equipment, Gluckstadt. Skag, zero-turn mower, Hartley Equipment, Gluckstadt. And Bad Boy, zero-turn mower, Hartley Equipment in Gluckstadt. Hartley Equipment, Church Road in Gluckstadt. Boom. There we go. Shop smartly. Shop Hartley. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Good morning. Welcome in. 105.9 The Zone ESPN. Somebody asked about I missed this yesterday. The texts were rapid fire on the Golden Moon Casino text line. And someone asked about our land partner as far as financing. And that would be Southern Ag Credit in Ridgeland. Southern Ag Credit in Ridgeland. Financing life outside the city limits. SouthernAgCredit.com. SouthernAgCredit.com. And great group there. Right there. You can see their building from I-55 and the Ridgeland area just north of the Renaissance. SouthernAgCredit.com. Financing life outside the city limits. That's our partner on that. Bo Bounds, Jackson Meadows with you. Murray State is in the College World Series. And it's just an incredible story. Look, if you're Ole Miss, you're thinking, how did we allow Murray State to beat us twice at home? And then we had Duke lined up, who was a nice team, but far from. I mean, again, they threw BP to Murray State on Sunday. 83 mile per hour BP. And I mean, Murray State just. That team puts the bat on the ball. They'll chop it around, hit a line drive, chop it around again. You know, and they're in.
I mean, if they put up 40 runs in that regional, how many hits do they have? I don't know. I'll have to look. Combine them. Yeah, you're putting.
It was a bunch.
A bunch.
You know,
you're not hitting the long ball. Yeah, it's a bunch.
They kind of hit the ball. They hit it. They spray it everywhere.
Yeah.
And they put the ball in play, which has been a problem in this state at times with some of our teams, especially 2 outs or even less than 2 outs and runners in scoring position. But it just felt like Murray State was just always putting the ball in play, always putting pressure on you, always making you. And it's a nice team, you know. They've got a couple of guys that could throw some junk, and they got that confidence which you get in baseball. And, you know, Duke has what? A 400-seat stadium? Yeah. It makes Smith Wills look like, you know, Truist Park. And boom. But if you're Ole Miss, you're thinking we had Murray State and Duke in our way to go to the CWS. Murray State and Duke. And would have hosted a super regional.
They got 36 hits in the super.
Against Duke?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching Duke doesn't have the pitching.
Still a lot of hitting. That's a lot.
Oh, no question. It's hard to hit a baseball. No question. I love what Jay Powell said. Very simple. It's hard to hit a baseball. And when it's moving, it's damn hard. And what I mean by that, I'm just talking about straight BP fastball, as y'all know, compared to all the other stuff that guys are throwing now. Cutters, sliders, breaking balls, this, that, and the other. They kind of had some poor man's Greg Maddux guys. You know, just guys that were throwing a bunch of crap, but it was good.
If you had to take a whack at the amount of hits they had in the regional, what do you think it would be?
Well, they played more games.
4 games.
4 games. They beat Ole Miss twice. They beat Georgia Tech because then Ole Miss beat Georgia Tech. I don't know. 40 hits?
60.
No way.
59.
They had 59 hits in the regional in Oxford.
And they turned around with 37 over the last 3 games.
They're just a little singles hitting machine. Just boom,
boom,
boom. Because when they got on Ole Miss in the last game, they were chopping it over to Will Furness.
Yeah.
And between Furness and the pitcher, there was just some, it was like balls that were right in between them, slow rollers, slow choppers, who gets it, who's covering, and then all of a sudden they're on base.
How in the world?
I don't know.
That's a lot of hitting.
Ronnie on the Golden Moon Casino text line, Murray State and Coastal Carolina in the championship. Probably not. But I get where you're fired up about it. Coastal Carolina is an amazing story, too. That's a first-year head coach at Coastal. He replaced Gilmore, the legend, the guy who won it about 10 years ago at Coastal Carolina. Their current coach was the assistant coach when that happened. Okay, Gilmore retires last year. He takes over, leads them to the College World Series.
Casually.
They play Arizona on Friday.
They could win that ball game very much.
Oh,
so.
absolutely. Coastal Carolina's good.
Yeah.
They just got good. They're just a good team.
I mean, they're the
Good roster.
betting-wise, they're number 4.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Hold on.
They're the top
Is
half.
it Arkansas, LSU, Oregon State, and then them?
Yes.
Okay.
Flip Coastal and Oregon State. Coastal's 3rd.
Coastal's 3rd. Oregon State's dangerous, too. I mean, all these teams have some kind of ability. We'll see. I didn't keep up with Louisville baseball. I watched a smidgen of Miami and Louisville over the weekend. Saw Chris Lemonis in the stands at the Louisville-Miami game. He and Dan McDonald played together at Citadel, best friends in each other's wedding. Cool. Saw Dan McDonald when I was out at the College World Series in 2021. He was rooting for his friend, Chris Lemonis. Chris Lemonis was in the stands in Louisville, Kentucky over the weekend as Louisville, U of L, took down the Miami Hurricanes and the U. So Dan McDonald back, coached at Ole Miss, played with Lemonis, best friends, in each other's weddings. Dan McDonald back in the CWS with U of L. The basketball school that Pitino led to, they vacated it, which is BS. That's a national title.
That's a natty.
Rick Pitino won the national championship at U of L. It was one of my favorite teams. I loved their guard play. And their point guard was super, super good. I mean, college player. But they'll play Oregon State. U of L plays Oregon State. LSU and Arkansas, SEC versus SEC. So somebody's in the loser's bracket in the SEC.
So weak.
From the jump. We are the Out of Bounds Show, brought to you by the Armory, Lake Harbor in Ridgeland, in front of Kroger. Firearms, optics, suppressors. The Armory. Beautiful, beautiful store. The Armory, Lake Harbor in Ridgeland, in front of Kroger. Stop by this week. Firearms, optics, suppressors. The Armory, Lake Harbor in Ridgeland. Yeah, I think I'm 100% accurate on my power rankings for SEC football. You'll love that. Texas, number 1. Arch Manning. Era begins. Who does Texas start off with? Probably Shrimp Po' Boy Tech. Let's see. I broke my glasses yesterday in here, so I can't see a damn thing. Oh, they're at Ohio State. Yeah, I mean, look, Ohio State's still going to have talent, so you don't ever know what you're walking into, but Texas should be okay. But that's a premier game. I mean, Sark, Ryan Day, Arch, Ohio State coming off the national championship. All right. I can do that. LSU at Clemson, 2 returning starting quarterbacks, Nussmeier for LSU, Klubnik for Clemson. I'm down with that.
Oh, wow. OSU's they got the spread at -3 OSU over Texas.
Well, I mean, in Columbus.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is in Columbus. I guess that's that 3-point bump. Yeah.
Probably a little bit of a, I don't know, national championship bump. And
yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, they got that receiver, though. Who's going to win?
Yes, they do.
Who's going to win the Heisman?
Well, Texas probably going to shut him down.
No way.
You don't think so?
That dude can't be shut down.
Okay.
He is so good.
Another marquee game, Mississippi State at Southern Miss. And then, of course, who does Ole Miss play? Georgia State.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Ole Miss has a different schedule this year. It was a cakewalk last year for 5 games, but they went 4-1. So they beat the hell out of all their non-conference opponents, and then they played Kentucky at home and lost. We had them, done deal, undefeated through that deal. Mm-hmm. Now, a little bit different deal. Not that they're playing anybody great. Well, I'm going to walk you through their first 5 games. Georgia State at home, they win by 60. At Kentucky, don't sleep on the Cats in Lexington game 2. Mm-mm. I mean, are they that good? No, but they'll mess with you on defense. Arkansas at home. So if you notice this, last year Ole Miss didn't play anybody first 4 games.
No.
So they got to get comfortable. Yeah. People were talking. They're great, scoring 50 a game. Now all of a sudden they won't be doing that. Now they may win all these games, but they play 2 SEC games in the first 3 games.
Mm-mm.
Now, they're better than both teams, but they were better than Kentucky last year and lost at home with their best team. They're not going to be as talented this year as they were last year. They're not. And so they go Georgia State at Kentucky, Arkansas at home, Tulane at home, LSU at home, all in September.
Sheesh.
So that's 3 conference games in their first 5 games. Last year in their first 5, they played 1.
Right.
At home against Kentucky, who went 1-7.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's there to offset the whole, you're playing 8 home games, right?
They're playing, man, they are at home.
You got 8 of them.
All year. I mean, it's just.
You barely leave the state.
So they leave in September once.
Leave the state.
They go to Kentucky.
Right.
They leave in October.
How many times?
Twice. Back to back at Georgia, at Oklahoma.
5-week month, yeah.
Okay. Then they come home for 3 games, South Carolina, the Citadel, and Florida. And then they go to Mississippi State.
Yeah, so they don't
to wrap it up.
That's incredible. So they don't leave the state past
after
October.
That. That's right. You're right. They don't leave the state.
After October.
But still, I mean, away game.
Yeah, sure, but you don't leave these. Yeah.
Yeah, they
That's
don't.
Incredible.
When they come back on October 25th,
they're home
at Oklahoma. They don't leave the state of Mississippi again.
There's no more flying.
Now they're going to have to pace themselves in the Grove and in Oxford because they're all about the party and the party. Instead of 7 games, 8. Listen to this: Georgia State at home, Arkansas at home, Tulane at home, LSU at home, Washington State at home, South Carolina at home, the Citadel at home, Florida at home.
How many are in a row? Like how many?
So they got 3. Well, if you count the
spurts, yeah.
Yeah. They have 4 in a row at home.
Sheesh.
And then 3 in a row at home. Yeah.
That's gonna be that's a tough liver.
So, yeah, no kid. Especially, I mean, Ole Miss fans are going to have to really dig deep.
Man, you got to.
Especially early in the year in September when it's hotter than hell. You've got Georgia State, which is like August 30th. Okay, so that'll be hot in Oxford, hot in Hattiesburg. All right. So all three teams will be in the state that weekend because Mississippi State will be in Hattiesburg.
17.
All right, and then Ole Miss is hosting Georgia State. You with me?
Right.
All right. So Labor Day weekend, everybody's in the state of Mississippi.
Cool.
All right. The next weekend, Ole Miss goes to Lexington. Mississippi State hosts Arizona State.
Ugh.
And Dilly. Kenny Dillingham. Sam Levitt. And the crew.
This is terrible.
Yeah. Scattaboo's gone. He'll be with the New York Giants.
He will be. And
Jackson Dart and Russell Wilson. All right, let me walk you through. So in September, Ole Miss could go 4-1 or 3-2. If they go 5-0, that means they will be at Kentucky, Arkansas at home, LSU at home. Okay, so your thoughts there. Mississippi State, here's their September run. At Southern Miss, should win the game.
Right.
Arizona State at home. Toss up.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay, I'll give a.
I'm gonna give. I mean, you
all
gotta
right,
give the edge,
I'll
right?
give. I mean, they lost a lot of players, but it will be hot as hell.
Yeah.
I'll give Arizona State
3.
I was thinking 3 to 5 points.
I think that's fair.
Okay. All right, fair, but that's still.
It's still pinching it. Yeah.
All right, so Arizona State at home.
Okay.
Alcorn at home.
Big time game.
Northern Illinois at home. At this point, you need to be 4-0.
Right. Yeah.
Then you get Tennessee at home.
Yeah.
Damn.
Ouch.
I didn't know Mississippi State played
that
4
many in a row?
home games in a row.
Yeah, to go 2
and then
2.
there's a bunch of. So the Mississippi State students are going to get a bunch of September home games.
The worst.
So does Ole Miss.
It's so
when
hot.
it's really hot.
God.
Listen, you get 4 in a row in Starkville. Arizona State, Alcorn State, Northern Illinois, Tennessee.
Sheesh. I mean, if you don't come out of that,
You got to be 4-0. Southern Miss, Arizona State, Alcorn, Northern Illinois. You will not be favored against Arizona State.
No.
You'll be favored against Southern Miss, Alcorn, and Northern Illinois.
4-0.
And you took a bunch of Northern Illinois players
I don't know if that's a good
in the
thing or a bad
transfer
thing.
portal. I don't know. I think it's good, but I don't. Again, it's so hard to handicap.
Yeah.
I can't even Ole Miss. It's hard to handicap their roster. I know it's better than Mississippi State's, but it's still hard to handicap it with the portal, with high school recruiting. Hell, I don't know. And then Mississippi State starts off October. Ole Miss takes a week off after the run I gave you. And Mississippi State plays at A&M. Brutal.
That way they're Tennessee, then A&M.
Tennessee at home at A&M. So that after Southern Miss, they play 4 straight weeks at home. Then they go to A&M. Then they take a week off.
Dang.
Ole Miss, on the other hand, when they come back from Kentucky, game 2, they play 3 in a row at home. Arkansas, Tulane, LSU. Then they get a week off. So their weeks off are just staggered by a week.
Right.
Ole Miss gets the first one. Mississippi State gets that next week.
So State doesn't leave the state for 5 weeks.
That's exactly, no, 1, 2,
6
3,
weeks.
4. Well, yeah, the 6th game.
Wow.
Because their only road game is at Southern Miss. An hour and a half down or whatever.
Yeah.
2 hours, 3 hours down the road.
Dang.
There you go.
I don't remember having spurts like that.
Now, your best weather games for Ole Miss, I'll pick them out for Ole Miss and Mississippi State.
Let's hear it.
All right, Ole Miss plays.
Probably about to jinx these.
Washington State, October 11th. You're hoping the weather will break, but we've had some hot games in Starkville and Oxford in October. But you're hoping at least that's 80, like the high. But man, you would love for it to be in the 70s. Okay, so that's October 11th for Ole Miss, and then November 1 they play South Carolina at home. Weather could be damn good.
Yeah.
Citadel, November 8th. could be really good. And Florida, November 15th, which if both teams have won, that could be a huge TV time spot, whether it's mid-afternoon or 6, 7 at night. And Vaught Hemingway, they already sold out. They made that announcement yesterday. So Ole Miss, because Lane's been winning left and right, there are no tickets to be had. They can't even find students can't even get tickets.
Wow.
It's going to be a problem in a good way.
Yeah.
All right. So those are the Washington State, South Carolina, Citadel, and Florida are your good home games. Banking on some good weather.
Okay.
That's October, November for Ole Miss. Now, let me give you Mississippi State. Texas, October 25th. The Tito's guys are coming over, which I'm very excited about. We're going to do a big party. It's going to be awesome. They got I don't know how many Airbnbs, but it was a lot. One of them was like a 8-bedroom. All right, so Texas is October 20th. That could be amazing weather. Georgia is November 8th. Amazing weather. And then you got Ole Miss. You don't ever know what Thanksgiving's going to give you.
Never.
So those are the home games for Mississippi State. They go to Missouri late in the year, November 15th. Remember that year Dak went up to Missouri and beat them on Thursday night by 35, and it was just raining sideways?
It was terrible.
It was his fifth year. It was his fifth-year senior year.
15.
He had nothing around him on offense.
Golly.
Everybody had left. Darunya, I think.
Yes, he opted.
No, Fred Ross was still there.
Fred.
I mean, he was a really
decent,
he was a good college player.
Really decent receiver.
He had just had was about to, I guess, have a great game against Arkansas. Remember that ball he caught behind him, and they had to score, and then Arkansas drove down, and they blocked the field goal to win.
And he could return punts too.
It wasn't Chris Jones. It may have.
No, it might have been. I think he got.
But it may have been someone that it wasn't a good player, but not a marquee player. Anyway, that's your Mississippi State late games are not. They're not terrible, but I mean it's Texas and Georgia late because you got a bunch of away games late at Florida, at Arkansas, at Missouri. Can Levy pull an upset on the road at Arkansas or at Missouri? I think that's his only way to 5.
Those are technically upsets, yeah?
Yeah, you'll be underdogs at Arkansas and at Missouri.
Yeah.
I don't know if you won't be favored in one conference game.
No. Sure.
Hold on, let me go through that again.
Not a chance.
Tennessee at home. At A&M.
No.
At Florida. Just brutal. At Florida.
Man.
Texas at home. At Arkansas. Georgia at home. At Missouri. Ole Miss at home. No, you won't be favored in one conference game.
Nah.
And you got to get off the snide or whatever you say. You have to. You went 0-8, which is totally unacceptable last year. You have to win a conference game. Lunch today brought to you by Martin's in Livingston. How was Martin's yesterday?
Smash.
What'd you have? We ate at the bar together.
Redfish Kathleen.
Redfish Kathleen.
So good every time.
And you got some rice that looked good.
It's the rice pilaf. I think that's how you say that word.
That's way over your skis for somebody from Clinton.
I'm telling you. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Rice pilaf. What was your other side? Mashed potatoes
and gravy.
You are taters.
How am I not? I mean, I have to get.
I mean, you're Clinton.
Yeah, I mean, we
so who has a better culinary scene, Clinton or Pearl?
I'm not having any kind of debate with Pearl.
Okay, the best restaurant is 303 in Clinton, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And then you said there was another one that
there's
opened up?
a couple little guys over there that are pretty dang good. Yeah.
All right, what about in Pearl? What's the best restaurant?
What, Steak and Shake.
Ooh, shots fired.
Steak and Shake's great.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
Okay,
but I mean, what are you going to do? You going to go over there to the what's it called?
Well, somebody recommended that there was some great egg rolls in the outlet mall.
No.
Early in the show because it's National Egg Roll Day.
You going to go to the outlet mall to eat?
Not usually, but I've been in.
I'll go for an egg roll.
I've been in the Adidas store several times in the outlet mall.
Is that place out there? I mean,
if I'm going to hit the Mississippi Mud Monsters, I'm going to get a Mango Cart beer and some nachos.
I know they've got to have at least like one or two local
What's the
restaurants,
best
right?
local restaurant in Pearl? Let's ask our listeners. Text line 601-885-3776. Brought to you by the Golden Moon Casino. What's the best local restaurant in Pearl?
Number 2 is Frisco Deli.
Frisco Deli, I've been there. It's good.
It's so good.
But I'm just wondering who has a better culinary scene, Clinton or Pearl?
It's got to be Pearl, though. Pearl has the options. Pearl's got plenty of options because of the mall.
Because of the mall and the Mud Monster in the stadium.
Correct. You take the stadium away, then it's...
Isn't there mugshots there?
In Pearl? Oh, no.
Yeah, Tanner
Isn't
Allen
there?
and I ate there before the Governor's Cup
They
last
have
year.
mugshots in Pearl?
Yes, we went over there and grabbed a beer and nachos.
Really?
Yeah.
What are they doing out there?
Yeah. And somebody said that they have egg rolls on their menu. I don't know. You know, once Mugshots left Starkville and now Spring Street Cigars is in there,
Yeah.
which is a great place. I was there last. What was I doing up there? I was there for the Brian O'Connor press conference. Last Thursday, I went by Spring Street Cigars. Fabulous.
They sure do.
What?
They have one in the mugshot over there.
Yeah. How about that?
Opens at 10:45.
Y'all don't have one?
We don't want a mugshots.
Shots
What
fired.
do we need a mugshots for? No, their burgers are all right. They're all right.
All right. Outside of 303 Jefferson, where's the best burger in Clinton?
Oh, gosh.
Not fast food. That does not count. I mean, I love Dairy Queen, but that doesn't count where we're going right now. And I know that Pearl has a Dairy Queen. I've been there.
Oh, man.
It's on the Mississippi Mud Monsters exit.
Maybe Froghead.
It's on the, you go right instead of going to the Mud Monsters on the left.
Probably Froghead Grill.
Froghead, I'll have to try that.
Froghead's a good spot. It is very good. It's a, yeah. That we have Kralakis.
You mean like the one in Ridgeland?
Correct.
I went there last week. I met Jake Manning with Mississippi Smart Homes.
Yeah.
I hadn't been to Kralakis or Kralakas. Which one is it?
I don't know how to say it.
Now you've got me mixed up the way you said
Oh,
it.
gosh. It's whatever.
No, it's Kralakas.
Got to be.
It was, they got me a Euro burger.
Yeah.
I think that's
I mean,
what
it
Jake
is-
ordered
it
because
is
I was
fire.
late. Good Lord.
Oh, it's good now. Yeah. Yeah, they have one down there, down in Old Town. It's actually right
And then
beside 303.
somebody ordered something beside us that looked flat out amazing.
This stuff does look good.
It's right in front of Went McGee's office, the mortgage man. No,
Man.
he's on top. You just take the elevator down to Kralakas. Went McGee, mortgagemanms.com. He'll shop the best rates for you. Went McGee, mortgagemanms.com. Hit him up today. Go ahead and get pre-qualified so that you can get in that condo or home here, Starkville, Oxford, Ocean Springs, Bay St. Louis. Mortgagemanms.com. The Mortgage Man, Went McGee, will shop the best rates for you. Let's go back to Martin's in Livingston. I had the chicken and sausage gumbo, which was fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
And I went with the wings naked with the Thai chili on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And you went with the,
Redfish Kathleen.
yeah.
Just heat.
Yeah. And they
That
have,
thing doesn't miss.
they have Bud Light on draft,
They
which
did.
hits right.
That went down very, very
It's
easily.
ice cold Bud Light. They also have Mango Cart, Michelob Ultra, and the guys beside us were drinking Key. I did not, because I'm in the business of watching what other people are doing, so I guess I'm nosy. The guys beside us were drinking Key City.
Nice. I did not notice
You
that.
didn't notice that because you were in another.
A whole nother dude.
Yeah, you were on Saturn.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. I had something that I wanted to go over. Here it is. Is salsa considered a sauce, a condiment, or a dip?
Oh, boy.
First of all, good salsa is amazing.
Sure.
I picked up some from Kylie Mellons,
Who's that?
the farmer's market in Canton.
Word.
Black bean and corn salsa.
Oh, that sounds.
It was excellent, Jackson.
good.
Wendy smoked some chicken, and I put it on the side and did the dip in.
How'd you eat it? Did you dip something in it?
And yeah, I dipped it in the salsa.
That's a dip then.
I know.
So-
Well, okay. So, but would you consider salsa a sauce, condiment, or a dip?
You just laid it out. It's got to be a dip.
I agree.
I mean, it can't be a condiment. I'm not putting it in the same bracket with ketchup and mustard.
Well, salsa is better than ketchup and well, it's better than both.
The condiments have any...
But I love mustard on a sandwich and I love mustard on a burger. And now Wendy and I eat sweet potato fries with mustard because one of our listeners texted that in last year. And that is a delicacy.
I can't believe that worked out.
It's so damn
I can't
good.
believe that worked out.
Yeah. This guy, Greg, says, I just had guacamole nachos and the salsa came on the side, so I don't know.
It's a dip.
It's a dip.
Okay.
Okay.
That's even more proof. You dip a chip in salsa.
Jason says, we basically learned that salsa is its own food group.
No way. Can't do that.
I love good salsa.
Okay, I guess you could there.
Especially homemade.
I guess it could be a combination of all of those. It is kind of a condiment.
Okay. It could be, right? It's got some versatility.
Yeah, I can buy it.
Kind of like Keyshawn Murphy in basketball. All right.
It can definitely.
Or Charles Oakley with the Bulls and Knicks.
Big Oak.
All right.
It could definitely be.
Or Hal Burton with the Pacers.
Who?
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
Luke
guy.
says salsa is Spanish for sauce. So there's your answer. I don't think it's cut and dry.
No, I don't. Well, in sauce, what does sauce qualify as? Is it a condiment?
Okay.
Or is it a dip?
Let me continue on here. Chandra says, just talked about this yesterday in the aspect of, is ranch a salad dressing, dip, or condiment? Now, they have it for wings all around the South.
Oh, yeah, and you dip it.
And you dip it. They also serve it with celery.
That's true.
And all sorts of things.
Okay, that's tough. Because obviously
I think salsa is a dip.
Salsa is a dip.
Can transition to other things.
Sure.
The versatility is off the charts.
Yeah.
And because when you run into good salsa, it's heaven with a cold Michelob Ultra.
I like where Scott's at on the text line.
Talk to me.
Anything you eat with a chip is dip. I could buy that.
Okay.
Or it's a
good dip, good guacamole dip, good queso.
Oh man, it's hard to
good
beat.
white queso, good salsa. It does not get any better. The trio of dips, fresh guac made really good at a local restaurant, fresh white queso, and fresh salsa. I like the black bean and corn.
Can't believe Jason was the guacamole guy. That trips me out all the time.
Jason, our former producer.
Yeah, that was the guac guy.
Oh, when he made it?
Yeah. Wasn't he the guy, whatever it was down
there?
Oh,
he was the guac guy.
The guac guy.
And not saltines, but
no, my God.
It was the place where Amerigo is now in the Fondren.
I spent many nights there.
Bill Latham, rest in peace, the legendary restaurateur.
I'm drawing blank.
Why in the hell can't I remember? Yes, Jason was the guacamole guy.
That's awesome.
I know. Babalu.
God. That took way too long.
Hey, we love you. Enjoy some ice cold Key City Mi Vida and some salsa or queso later today. Enjoy your day. We'll be back tomorrow. See you.